Well, hi, you are, and what are you doing here today?
I'm Jim Moret, M-O-R-E-T, with Inside Edition. I'm chief correspondent, animal lawyer, and I've been covering the trial since the beginning.
What do you think the legacy of this trial will be?
The legacy of the I'm very glad that the trial is being televised, because there are so many people who have questions on both sides, and you really want to come away feeling like it was a fair trial. And at least this way, everyone can make up their minds for themselves and not wonder what went on behind closed doors. So if nothing else comes of this, at least we know what evidence was shown to the jurors and what they based their decision on. I think it's an interesting argument that the defense is making. They've been trying to put Michael Jackson on trial, and that's not really surprising, but it's obviously painful if you're a fan, if you're a family member, because he's the real victim here. He's lost his life. And the argument that he gave the drugs to himself, which is the defense argument, is in my view irrelevant. Because the fact is, if you assume that he was a drug addict, and if you assume he gave the drugs to himself, it still doesn't matter from a legal standpoint, or should it matter, because Dr. Conrad Murray brought the drugs to the house, used them in an inappropriate manner, and then left them unattended. So I'm really curious to see what happens. I think that the defense strategy, I don't know that they could possibly prevail on a not guilty verdict, but I think they're looking for one or two jurors to say, I don't know, and possibly get a hung jury.
Do you have any thoughts about the relationship of Occupy LA next door and this trial?
No, I think it's a coincidence that, you know, Occupy LA, this trial have nothing to do with one another.
So tell me your name, where are you from, and why are you here?
I'm from Italy, from Bologna, and I'm here with my friends from Milan, from Italy, just for the trial, because we believe that Michael was killed, and not just by Conrad Murray. There are dirty minds behind the murder of Michael. Michael was not addicted. Michael was not supposed to die, and we think that it's very important to spread the truth.
Oh, what's it been like to be a supporter of Dr. Murray?
Some of my friends have stopped talking to me, and some of my family is concerned that I should not be helping him.
Well, hi. What were you saying?
Oh, nothing. I was just saying how some people do disagree with the Michael trial being right across the street and getting more attention than the occupation. But Michael definitely, he was a one percenter, and I think he was a one percenter who realized what his music was doing, or what he could have been doing with his music, because I mean, a billion people know his name. So I think somewhere along in his career, you could hear it in his music. He started switching his topics. You know, you have Earth Song, Human Nature, They Don't Really Care About Us, Scream. You have all these different songs that start telling some truth if you would actually just listen. Especially They Don't Really Care About Us. It's just blatant, you know what I mean? He definitely tried to reach out, and I'm a firm believer that he was assassinated for his message that his 50 dates on tour would have said, because he was going to bring those songs that were so powerful and told so much truth, that he was going to bring them to life in a performance to show you exactly what he was talking about. And the elite fear that.
And what?
The elite, they fear that.
Occupy LA is kind of like Michael Jackson in that they want to create a whole new world, and so did Michael Jackson. Why do you like Michael so much?
I grew up with his music. I listened to his music in Iran. I used to hide it under my jacket and buy it in black market. Yeah, because westernized music in Iran is illegal. So I used to go down the street, and this guy would come, like kind of like a drug dealer, and would say what albums they have and say it really fast, and I'd just grab Michael and pay him and put it on my jacket and run back home.
When he brought all the children of the world and held their hand on stage, all black, white, Middle Eastern, Pakistani, whatever color, when he did that, that was a big message to the world. We were watching that crying. We were like wishing we would be part of that. He wanted peace, and there is no peace in this world. And you know, we need somebody, more people like him to just preach it. And for some reason, whoever does preach peace ends up dead. Not that I'm saying anything happened to him, but you know, we really need to listen to his messages still even after death, and we still don't have peace. And I think if there's anything to do for him is to just make his wishes come true. And I wish I could do that, but I don't have the money. Maybe one day.
A few pennies might help. Not much.
I'll put it in a Michael Jackson Children Fund Hospital. We'll start from there.
And what's your name?
Miriam?
Miriam?
Yes.
Would you like to give your last name?
Miriam Malik Niazi.
My name is Larry Nimmer. I'm the guy on the left having lunch in Michael Jackson's kitchen. I was part of the Jackson defense team in my capacity as a documentary filmmaker and legal video specialist. I spent many days videotaping inside Michael Jackson's Neverland estate, and I spent 2 days on the witness stand, presenting and narrating my original video footage for the jury, footage that will be seen outside the courtroom for the first time in this documentary. For the first time, you'll see the sheriffs meeting the accuser.
What he has done to you, okay? He's the bad person, not you.
And you'll hear Jackson's accuser telling a story of molestation.
He grabbed me. He grabbed you? Where did he grab you at? Private area. He grabbed you in your private area?
Sheriff's Department.
You'll see an army of sheriffs raiding Jackson's personal living quarters at Neverland Ranch. You'll meet the mother of the accuser.
Where were they when I had to walk about 3 hours to get to the doctors for my children, and now all of a sudden they're caring and concerned because Michael Jackson.
You'll view outtakes from the Martin Bashir documentary.
I would never do it. I would slit my wrist if I were hurt.
You'll see an exclusive interview with Jackson attorney Tom Mesereau.
This was not the kind of situation that Michael Jackson belongs in. He's extremely sensitive, very gentle, very childlike.
And you'll meet jury foreman Paul Rodriguez.
We felt that Michael was still a kid in a man's body.
Michael's defense team hired me to create a Neverland tour video to counter the unsavory impression created by footage shot by the Santa Barbara County Sheriffs, who deployed over 70 officers for a surprise raid of Neverland Ranch.